think it's fair to say that even taking our bias out of it, that was very unlike us last Saturday. What's the response been like on the training pitch to what was a disappointing performance?
Yeah, it was very. I thought we started the game actually really well. First 10-15 minutes I thought we had a couple of chances. We could have definitely been ahead in the game. I think we sort of just lost control. It's probably, I don't know if it was the occasion with what happened during the week and we knew we could have got ourselves right out of the playoffs. I don't know if it just got the better of us. But definitely disappointing, so it's a bit bouncing back on Saturday.
A good week training now nearly come to a close and we've got another game. So how much are you looking forward to getting the chance to go out and rectify that on Saturday?
Yeah, definitely. It's looking most likely like we're playoffs now, but we've still got a chance to get out of it. We're going to need to go and get a high score and win two games in a row and rely on stuff elsewhere. But that's all we can do. We can sort of take care of ourselves. And if we do end up in the playoffs, the next two games are very important. That we get a good performance and a bit of momentum to take into it.
Well, I think you're right. We spoke with Rhys about a kind of similar thing, that even if winning the two games isn't enough to take us away from the playoffs, it means we'll go into them in good form, and we've seen when we come up that can be huge for you.
Definitely, it's an unusual situation we're in, probably because I think the second half of the season we've been good.
Yeah.
The points tally would probably be challenging about playoffs. It just shows you that our squad is decent when we keep everyone fit and we have everyone at our disposal. So I don't think we'll go into, if it is the playoffs, I don't think we'll go into them with our heads down. I think we can hold our heads high at how we've bounced back since sort of February time, you'd probably say. We'll go into every game, however many it is, with confidence.
It probably is really that last time we played Dunfermline. You could maybe take it back a week to the cup game against Dumbarton, when we get the 5 goals in that game, play well, but the 3-0 here against Dunfermline really seemed to kick-start the revival and the good run of form that you say quite rightly has us really decent in the form table, a really respectable return of results from that period onwards.
Yeah.
What do you expect from Dunfermline this time around? Because obviously since then they've went on a really bad run, changed managers, and it's been obviously a kind of different Dunfermline side the last wee while. 5 games under Neil Lennon and it's 2 wins, 2 defeats and a draw.
Yeah, I would imagine they've got a very good manager, obviously, Neil Lennon, so I would imagine first and foremost they'll be very well set up, and sort of historically his teams of when he's had time to work with them, they've been very good going forward as well. So I don't really know what to expect. Obviously he's been in the door a month. They'll fancy themselves that they're sort of safe now, providing we don't go and put a few past them. So it's going to be a really difficult task. Obviously they're 5 at the back, and as I say, they'll be very well set up under Lennon. So it's up to us to go and try and break that down.
I suppose as much as there's going to be a difference to the way his team are conducting themselves to perhaps how they were under Michael Tidsler and James McCabe, we still know their personnel really well because it's largely the same guys that we've played the previous 3 times, and at least going back to that game in January, we were worthy winners in that match, so nothing that we shouldn't be confident about.
Definitely. It's a very different game through there. I'm not sure how the pitch is. It's a place I enjoy going playing it. It's a good club and they've always got a good fan base, so it's a good proper game of football. It'll probably be nervy because it'll be their day that they can see themselves getting properly over the line to safety, and it's sort of make or break for us to try and avoid the playoffs. So yeah, it'll be a good game and I'm looking forward to it.
I suppose the important thing for us is it helpful that we can just focus in this game, go out and try and win it, and let the cards fall where they may? Does that help kind of put any other distractions out of your mind?
It's sort of where we've been at the last probably 2 months,
yeah.
Just putting as many points on the board. Obviously we've been thrown a massive lifeline with Hamilton, but if our form didn't pick up, we would still be down there.
Yeah.
The boys have been really good, and we've clawed it right back. As I say, we've been thrown a massive lifeline, but we have to go and capitalise on that now. I certainly don't want to be the captain that gets a team relegated, so I'll be doing everything in my power to stop that happening.
Here's to that, Adam. We will see you on Saturday. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Rhys, I think it's fair to say that Saturday, even just being objective and taking my bias out of it, was very far away from our kind of normal performance levels, certainly since the turn of the year. Have you any kind of clearer picture as to why that might have happened?
No, I fully agree. I think you can have those days as a player, as a team. We weren't quite at the levels that we'd set previously, and obviously form and performances have been relatively good, especially probably in the last 8 weeks or so. So, listen, we watched the game back, we analysed things, we noticed things that we could do well when we didn't do so well in the game that we'd obviously like to change. And good thing is we get the chance to come in and have a good training week, try and put those wrongs right.
How have the boys been? How have they responded to it in that training week?
Well, obviously, naturally, the end of the kind of weekend and coming at the start of the week, of course, you're off the back of obviously a loss as well as a poor performance, so you're always that little bit kind of more disheartened. But boys come in, we kind of addressed things and went through wee bits and bobs and had a clear picture that we know that it was below standards that we've set, and that kind of happened again. So we've just got to make sure that we get back on that kind of positive momentum that we have been on recently, up to Saturday obviously, and just try and kind of lean on that, make sure we stick to the old ethos of working hard on the training pitch. The boys know that they need to put the graft in the training pitch, and like you say, we've got a big couple of weeks coming up.
How do you look ahead at these final 2 games of the regular season, at least then just go out and try and pick up the 2 sets of 3 points?
Aye, of course that's the aim, of course, but for me personally it's about making sure that we get a raise in the level of performance from Saturday, because we know it wasn't good enough, but certain areas of the game, obviously analysing Dunfermline as the opposition, taking into consideration the factors of the pitch and different elements and different circumstances that the game will entail. So big thing, and what I'm looking for is an uplift in performance, to see a positive reaction to the things that we've spoken about kind of midweek, and if we do that, like I say, get back to those positive kind of performances and things that we're doing really, really well, then of course you like to go and set yourself a wee target and go and try and get kind of 2 wins to finish the season strong.
Dunfermline, I suppose it's a game that there's still an awful lot on, even for them. They might look at it and say they're relatively difficult to catch given the kind of goal swing and the goal difference, but they'll still be going into it all guns blazing. What have you made of them since Neil Lennon's come in? I think that's 5 games now, he said.
Listen, they've been a lot more solid. I think their defensive record will probably speak kind of volumes of that. Again, it's hard because obviously Neil coming in and stuff as well, you're not given a period of time where you can fully get across your ideas and kind of way of thinking and way that you want to play, as well as maybe personnel who you'd like to bring in. So of course it's a kind of quick turnaround. He's got to try and kind of hit the ground running and try and make a few changes that he sees fit to keep them in the league, which totally respect and understand. But from that side of things, we know that going to the games recently, Partick Thistle and stuff like that, we know that they're no pushovers. They're going to be tough, especially at home. I think he's brought the sense of kind of togetherness and managed to get the spirits and almost get that sense of connectivity between the players and the supporters, because I think that was probably lost a little bit, probably with the end of Tidzer's spell, and just kind of getting that disconnect. So probably bridging that, trying to be difficult to beat and trying to pick up valuable points.
I think you're right. I think you look at their last 2 games, they've got 2 clean sheets. I think in total he's kind of had 2 wins, 2 defeats and a draw, so kind of a bit of everything in there, but those 2 clean sheets in a row maybe gives them something to build on and suggests that there might not be a huge amount of chances there, so we've got to be clinical when they come. Of
course, but at the same time, listen, Partick had loads of chances in the game and arguably could have done better with a few, and likewise in the games that we watched and analysed, so it's not like you're going there and you potentially only face getting 1 chance at goal. Sure. or something, so it's really important. Like say, we've got a message, we want to go and try and be positive in the game, try and put our stamp and way of thinking into the game and try and get a positive result, but we know that, like I said, Dunfermline are a little bit more rigid and defensively more sound and potentially what they have been recently, so we know it's probably going to be a tough game. As I say, they always are against Dunfermline, and like I say, 2 teams that are probably going to go and try and get 3 points.
The last game against them, the 3-0 here in January, is probably the result that really kicked things on, at least in our league. It followed on the Dumbarton game. We've been a different animal, I think, since that period. Does that give us something to look back fondly on, that we've got that kind of performance level that we hit there and gone on stronger and stronger since?
Aye, well, listen, the performance level's there. Listen, I know it's no ideal, but in the nicest possible way, the boys are allowed an off day. Yeah. And you know, we've been performing reasonably well, and like I said, I included the Falkirk game leading into that. The performance level was excellent. We weren't fortunate with the result, but we merited probably getting 3 points in the day. Goalkeeper gets man of the match, so we take real positive for that. We try to build on it, and as you say, probably from the kind of mid-January and onwards, like, performance level was good. Form table and stats will suggest you that we'd be pushing top 4 in playoffs. I think up until Saturday we were in the top 3 for points gained in the last 10 games, so real positives to take. Of course there is. They're allowed an off day. We know we can't have too many of them, and we don't want to have too many of them, so it's really important, like you say, we address, we analyse, and we reflect, and like I say, then try and put things into practice in the training week, and try and make sure that you're not following it up with another poor performance.
How's the fitness levels in the squad? Obviously, like we said at the end of Saturday, it was good to see Lewis Strapp come back in, get some minutes. How's he responded to that, and how is Alex and Aidan getting on?
Good to see Strappy back. Like I say, we were a bit kind of touch and go whether we'd have him for the kind of season or not. But credit to him, you know, he's got that warrior mindset, Strappy. I think that's evident in probably the way that he plays as well. So he was always wanting to come back and do his bit for the team. Aidan Wilson and Alex again, just a small tweak in his groin that isn't as bad as we kind of feared at first. Not that we thought it was going to be anything major, sure. But in terms of from games from now to the end of the season, hopeful that obviously with the due rest and managing the kind of load and expectation that we can get these boys back fit. Aidan the exact same, probably at the same stage as Alex now, coming back off a lengthy injury layoff and then being flung into kind of 90 without any real build up and kind of energy and stuff built up in your legs. Normally you have a pre-season, normally you have a period of time where it's reserve games and whatnot to build that kind of stuff into your legs, and unfortunately for Aidan we never had that luxury to go and give him that month of proper training. It was the minute he's kind of back fit and can come through a bit of a reserve game, then he's flung straight back into it. So dealt with circumstances reasonably well. Other ones, Lewis McGrattan as well, still feeling a little bit his hamstring, but again out running and doing his stuff today, so performing and whatnot in the gym and the rehab side of things really well. So decision to make, obviously, come end of the week, try and give boys as kind of late as possible in terms of your preparation, but at the same time we want to obviously have a clear indication of who we've got available and what the game plan is going to be.
And I suppose you've got the Ayr United game at home to follow, and then potentially, whilst we wait and see exactly what happens, playoffs as well, if we can't quite bridge the gap on Queen's Park or Dunfermline. So do you have to take that into consideration, or do you just look at who's available and fit to go now and let's use them there?
Well, I think first and foremost, listen, I know mathematically it's possible, and like I say, I'm always a glass half full kind of guy, and I think using Queen's Park, I think in the space of 5 days he conceded 10 goals, so it is possible. We know obviously it's going to be a difficult task because of the goal difference, of course, but listen, anything can happen in football as we've seen, so we've got to have that mindset that there's potentially still a chance for us to catch the guys in front. Of course, the realistic side as well is that you're almost prepping in the back of your mind for the kind of playoff side of things, and then your thinking becomes about, can you get boys minutes in the legs, can you make sure that you're given the right amount of rest so that you're attacking these playoffs with kind of full systems go. So fine balance, but as I say, it's not one that's a kind of an A and a B. It's one of the ones that we want to still try and get a bit of momentum. We still want to finish the season strong. Yes, performance and result on Saturday wasn't great, of course, we're hurting, but at the same time we want to end the season on a high, as our probably second half of the season, certainly since kind of mid-January it's been really positive, so we want to end that way.
And I suppose if we look back to the successful playoff campaign that took us to the division, we went into that on the back of a kind of wave of momentum that we built up through a strong end to the season, so it pays dividends if we end the season strong regardless.
Aye, but again, that's just natural in football, you know, confidence and these things are bred through good performance. Obviously we get to see who you're potentially playing if you went to the playoffs, so there's still a lot to play for and obviously work to be done, but like I say, we've just got to make sure that we keep everybody close knit, we're in it together, we we surround ourselves with obviously our small tight knit group. We know what's at stake, we know what we need to do, and we're in it together.
Brilliant. Rhys, thank you very much.
Cheers.